Hey guys, my man here. We're gonna watch this video. Somebody from DOGE was brutally attacked, I guess, in DC. But we're about to find out what it
Threatening a
is.
federal takeover.
My wife is in there cleaning the other room, so I had to come to this room to make the video.
Of D.C. after police say a former DOGE employee was brutally beaten in the nation's capital.
Oh
Truly unbelievable. Lucas
my
Thomason joins
God!
us live in Washington. Lucas, these type of attacks have been happening for years now.
They sure have, Lawrence. Good morning also to Ainsley and Griff. For those eating breakfast, the image that we just showed you and we're about to show you again is tough to watch. The 19-year-old former DOGE staffer known as Big Balls was beaten by a violent mob of minors in the nation's capital in a popular part of town, according to police. A 15-year-old man and a 15-year-old woman were arrested and charged with unarmed carjacking. The attack prompted President Trump to post, "Crime in Washington, D.C. is totally out of control. Local youths and gang members, some only 14, 15, and 16 years old, are randomly attacking, mugging, maiming, and shooting innocent citizens. The most recent victim was beaten mercilessly by local thugs." Trump warned if crime is not dealt with properly, he may be forced to take over.
Imagine being able to build an app with your
I
name
know how
on
to
it
edit these
just
out
by
now.
thinking about
I know
it.
how to edit these
Meet
out now.
Base 44, a complete.
Somebody from DOGE was very badly hurt last night. You saw that. A young man who was beat up by a bunch of thugs in D.C. And either they're going to straighten their act out in the terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run.
Now, this summer, Edward Korestein, the former DOGE lieutenant known as Big Ball, spoke to our
What
own
does
Jesse
that
Waters,
mean?
Elon Musk, reacting to the attack on his platform X, saying, quote, "A few days ago, a gang of about a dozen young men tried to assault a woman in her car at night in D.C. A DOGE team member saw what was happening, ran to defend her, and was severely beaten to the point of concussion. But he saved her. It is time to federalize D.C." Here's a
What
look at
does
those
that
recent
mean?
attacks this summer. Back in May, a House staffer was the victim of an armed carjacking in the Navy Yard next to Nats Park. In July last month, a congressional intern was murdered in a crossfire from a drive-by shooting. And now, Big Balls left bloodied after this attack. President Trump says he wants gang members over the age of 14 to be prosecuted as adults, guys.
Did
That's
the
right.
people who
That's
allegedly
right.
attacked him, did they know that he was a part of DOGE, or was it just because he was trying to help the lady that was being attacked?
The latter, Ainsley. It appears this attack happened about 3 a.m. on Sunday, early morning. It happened on 14th Street, just north of Le Diplomat, other popular restaurants in Washington. It's probably one of the most popular parts of town, Ainsley. It appears to be because Mr. Korstein stepped in to try to save this woman from being carjacked, which he was successful in that endeavor. He was attacked for stepping in. He did also save his girlfriend, who he put in his car before stepping in.
Wow. Y'all
right.
be
Big
careful
ball.
in D.C. Griff lives there, too.
Yeah, Lucas,
Thanks,
thank you
Lucas.
very much.
Big
And to
balls.
Lucas's point, this happened in Logan Circle, very popular area, and Ed Korstein, also known as Big Balls, really stepping in to stop that carjacking. Look, I've lived in D.C. for 35 years, and while the crime data is trending down right now overall, we do have a serious problem with juveniles because
100%.
they're getting out. They know they won't be held responsible. That's why President Trump is sounding off on it. And, you know, this is yet another example of what is wrong about D.C. Pressure now on Mayor Bowser will be to try and prosecute these juveniles who are under 18 to stop committing these crimes.
It's a huge
Right.
problem. It's
Right
not just
on.
the carjackings. It's not just the assaults on people. It's not just the armed robberies there. But there's an enforcement problem, and you can't have law enforcement that are activists. They got to be able to do their job. Look, I spent some of my career working in juvenile court. I have immense a passion for the young people and turning their lives around. But one thing I found when I did work there is that there has to be consequence, or they continue to repeat. And we finally got some hope in New York City, Ainsley, but it looks like if they elect the next mayor, things could change.
Yeah, Eric Adams doesn't do everything perfectly, but he was a mayor that came in and he used to be a law enforcement officer. So now he's the current mayor. He's running as an independent, and he's running against Zohran Mamdani, who in the past has said he wants to defund police, but he's attempting to pivot from that. He was commenting yesterday. We're going to play that soundbite in just a minute after we show you these stats, because it looks like under Eric Adams and our police commissioner, the crime in New York City is down almost 5% from where it was last year. Look at the murder numbers are
Good.
down almost 26%,
It's going
robbery
down.
down almost 12%,
Slowly.
felony assault down 1.4%, burglary almost 4%, auto theft almost 4%, and transit crime 2%, shooting incidents down 21%.
You got to give credit where it's due, because as someone that is a part of law enforcement and talk with sources all the time, there was a question mark by Eric Adams' name, because although he was a cop, he was critical of cops in the past. But if you talk to cops today, they say he's been one of the most pro-law enforcement cops they've seen in the last decade in New York City. And the proof is in the pudding. And
The proof is in the pudding when all the statistics are down, and I think Adams beats this socialist guy up in New York. We cannot let a foreigner come in here. Like, I do not think that unless you were born in America, you should not be able to run for office. That's just how it is. I mean, that's just how I see it. That's my opinion. So, like, the Ilhan Omars and the people like that, get the hell on with it. We don't need you. Y'all ain't doing nothing but destroying this country. To the fact that these major cities are dangerous as hell to go to in these blue states. I'm not saying that every city ain't dangerous. Every city in America is dangerous. Anybody can be violent at any given time. Always remember that. When somebody says, "Oh, he won't hurt you," no. At any given time, someone can flick that switch to violence. It's encoded in our DNA, guys. Why do you think, since we are children, we are taught that death is something that happens through TV murder? Like, yes, once you are born, you start to die. I mean, you live your life and all that. But then you have, like, people who just don't care about their own life, and they don't give a damn about yours. So, I mean, really, I don't know. Like, I don't know what. Like, I'm glad that I live in the country and I don't live in a big city. But the small town that I do live in, 15, 20 years ago, you could go to town. Even 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, you could go to town. And I lived in a town that had a bunch of empty buildings. It's a slow moving town. Everybody was leaving. The closest Walmart's like 25 miles away. I mean, I live in the country, man. And to to just think about how dangerous my small town has got, like, violence wise. Like, we're having murders in this small town, and we average like maybe one murder every 5 years or 10 years or something like that. Now it's like, but in my community, it's more of a drug problem than anything with gangs or anything. We live, in the country where, we have them biker meth cookers or shaking like fucking, like, you see people tweaked out all the time. Like, the other day I had to wrestle a tweaker off my front porch. She was trying to go in my house. I'm outside talking to the neighbor, and she points, and this chick has a beard. I'm talking about like a short beard, like maybe right there, getting it, like, had a line straight down the middle, like it was only growing on both sides of the butt cheeks. You know what I mean? Her chin looked like a butt. But I wrestled her. She goes limp. I had to drag her. I go into the house and I listen to what I done. I go in the house and I get the crossbow, right? And I load it with a broad-headed arrow because she tells me I have a friend named Josh and a friend named Daniel who are with me. And I'm thinking, you better tell Josh and Daniel that and she tells me, I say, what were you doing trying to go on my house? She said, we're just trying to steal stuff to help us get my medical marijuana prescription. I'm like, okay. So you're gonna try to steal shit from my house? Where's the man at? And I have my crossbow. And I'm better with a bow than I am anything else. Slingshots, all that. So when you put a bow in my hands, I'm just as accurate with a bow as motherfuckers are with guns, and that's a fact. And one day I'll prove it. When my back gets better, we'll go outside and I'll show you. I can put a grouping together of 12 arrows in a grouping like that, so I'm pretty accurate. But I would have hit old Josh and Daniel right between the eyes. And if I was able to get one and the other one tried to bum rush me thinking I was out, and nah, I shoved it right up in his shit. Look, man, when it comes to my house and protecting my kids, I will do whatever it takes. For my family, my wife, my kids, yeah. The burglaries and shit, like Trayvon Johnson, 17-year-old boy who was just shot and killed for burglaring a house um, in Miami. And then they have somebody on the news say, well, I mean, you got to think about it this perspective from the hood. How's he supposed to get money for school clothes? And I'm thinking, fuck that. Thinking robbing people because you need money for school clothes because you grew up in the hood is a valid fucking excuse to come in my house? No. Look, when you come in my house, I got 5 pit bulls and some surprises. Like most people keep a gun beside the bed, I keep a bow. Because if I hit you with that bow, I know it's going through you. And I know that you're not going to survive. And that is my plan if you come into my house. No chance of survival. Everybody should be like that. No chance of survival if you come into my house where my family are. If I'm here alone, that's a different story. We might just tussle, throw each other around, and I call the police. You come in the house with my kids home, calling the coroner to take their time. Because I'm going to let my dogs eat your ass. And it's sad that I have to think that way because I'm not a violent person. I never have been a violent person. Well, that's a lie. In my past, I was a violent person. Like, I had anger problems and temper problems and stuff, but that was due to drug addiction. But now, I've been sober since 2016, and now I'm just the calmest, happiest, humblest person alive. Like, you want to be humble? YouTube will humble your ass. Trust me, you gotta have thick skin to do this, and I've just been doing it a month, guys, putting out everyday videos and stuff. So I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you enjoy the storytelling, and to all the guys out there that love shooting bows, remember, we are the few that like to do it, because a lot of people ain't good with it like us. So y'all stay loose, protect your family, protect your kids, and I love you. I'll see y'all on the next one. Thank y'all for watching. I love you because you watched. Thank you.